Hey everybody, it's Norm and Will back for another episode of Behind the Garage Door. Today, Will and I are headed out to Trinity to meet up with a friend named Mike who has a couple of real cool exotics. It's a beautiful day here in Plant City, kind of a long drive to go see Mike, so we're going to take something big and comfortable. All right, well, long trip out to Trinity, but we made it here to Mike's beautiful palatial estate. Let's walk over here and meet the man right now. Mike, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me.
For having us out to your, wow, what a great home.
Thank you.
This is beautiful.
3 years.
3 years you've been here?
Yep.
Trinity, what do you think of the Trinity area?
We like it.
It's grown so fast, we were like
huge.
driving out here.
It just gets bigger and bigger. It's a nice area because it's close to US 19.
Yes.
It's all the stuff, and then we can get to the airport for traveling like, well, 30 minutes.
30 minutes,
so.
I was going to say, it's fantastic. So you needed a house that at least had a 3-car garage, because from what you've told me, there are 2 quite special vehicles behind this garage door, am I correct?
Sure, yes. Yeah.
Well, it's time to see what exactly is behind Mike's garage door. All right, Mike, as we walk into your garage, beautiful red, exotic black. Which one? Let's start with the red one. What do you say?
Okay, sure.
Okay, I know it's a Ferrari, but tell me everything about it.
It's a 2019 Ferrari 488 GTB.
Okay.
They made this model from 2016 through 2019.
Okay. So how long have you had this car?
2 years.
2 years.
Yep.
Now let me try to get this straight. You have quite a history with the track.
Yes.
And you've had other supercars before. What are some of the other ones that you've had?
All Porsches.
All Porsches. So this is your first Ferrari.
This is my first Ferrari, yeah. As far as the track goes, it's all been Porsches. Before that, it was a bunch of Corvettes.
Okay, so what made you decide to get a Ferrari?
My wife.
When your wife says, hey, why don't you go get a Ferrari?
Yeah, well, it's always been on a bucket list. Hey, one day I'd like to try the Ferrari thing, try it out and see what it's like. And I mean, they're beautiful, obviously.
Absolutely.
So I had an opportunity to trade in a 2018 GT3 Porsche for this 2019 at Fort Lauderdale Ferrari, and they made it work so easy, and there it is.
So what's your okay, I've talked to a lot of different guys about these 2 specific cars, and they love the Ferrari and they love the Porsche, but Porsche guys are always they're very passionate about that car, and I've driven both, and I can understand why, but there's something about a Ferrari. And I don't know if it's the sound, if it's the name, if it's the style, or what it is. So it was just a bucket list thing that you've had all the Porsches, and you just wanted to get in a Ferrari.
I like all kind of cars. I'm not just one brand specific. I appreciate it, all of it. And I just something to try different. I was kind of easing a little bit out of the track realm.
Okay.
I mean, I still love to go and instruct and do all that, but it's expensive, and cost of track insurance is harder to get these days.
Yeah.
So I just kind of eased away from it a little bit. I thought, well, now's the time to try this, because I've had this at the track, but it's something that I don't go. I used to go 10, 15, 20 times a year to various tracks in the Southeast.
Right.
Don't do that anymore.
Right.
Unfortunately, would love to, but not right now.
Are these aftermarket wheels that are on it?
Yeah, those are
the factory wheels.
Those are the factory wheels up there.
Okay.
These are same size, just a little bit more offset.
Yeah.
Just to fill it out. Novatech springs. It's all Matt's doings.
So Matt Hurley's had a hand in
this. This is all him. Pushing me.
Yeah, Matt will do that. You gotta lower it. You gotta lower it.
Telling me how in a nice Matt way. It's not great until you do this.
Well, as I glance back at this car, I can see Matt Hurley's fingerprints all over it. So
Matt had a red 430. I think it was a 2007 or 8 or 9, something like that. And every time he pulled that out of the garage, we lived across the street from each other one time. I would just like, oh my God. And I always loved Ferraris, but I was like, man, one day, and it sounded, and it looked so good. And it was red with this same style wheel.
Yep.
Clear brushed, clear gloss brushed, and it just looked great. And it was like that was my
Your template?
Yeah, template to kind of do this. Yeah.
He has great taste in cars, and he puts such a great flair on. You can tell when Matt's had a car, and he's put his fingerprints on it, as I like to say. But this is a absolutely beautiful car. Yeah. How often do you get it out to enjoy it?
Well, I bought this used, and it had 453 miles on it.
Okay.
Got it December of 2019, and here we are in January of 2022. And it's got 6,600 and something miles on it.
So you've enjoyed it.
In the Ferrari world, that's huge.
That's a lot of miles in the Ferrari world. Absolutely,
yeah, there's some Ferrari guys that are like, oh my God, the car's gonna disintegrate.
You can't hit 10,000.
You can't do it. It's like, what? I bought it, I'm gonna enjoy it, right?
That's right.
You gotta get out and drive these things.
As you should.
So, I've had no issues with this thing. I drive it at least once every week. They may sit for a couple weeks if I'm, working, traveling, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to get out all the time.
That's great. All right, Mike, we move over to the center car in the in your collection here, and I know it's an Aston Martin, but this isn't your car.
Yes, that's my wife's car.
So you're rocking a Ferrari, your wife's rocking an Aston Martin. Do you?
It's weird. It's her car, but I'm the one that always drives it.
So did she pick it out?
She did, which she's always black, white kind of, and this is a dark. Maybe if you can see, it's got blue. It's got blue. It's black with a blue metallic undertone to it.
Wow!
And it's got a blue interior to match it.
Nice.
Orange stitching and orange
calipers. So what is it?
It's an Aston Martin V8 Vantage. It's a 2020.
Oh. This is an absolutely beautiful car. See, I always said when you and I were talking on the phone. I love Ferraris, I love Lamborghinis, I love them all, but if I could ever pick one car that I would just go, here's the money for it and I want it, it would have been an Aston Martin Vanquish. I just think that those are the most beautiful cars ever. And they're all, the DB9s, the Vantage, the Vanquish, they're all very similar.
Yeah.
But
they got that
so what made her decide on an Aston Martin?
She likes different things. She likes to have something that is different and something that you don't see a lot of, and so she pretty much came to this.
Well, I have to tell you that this is the first episode of Behind the Garage Door with an Aston Martin. And also, I don't know that we've ever even seen an Aston Martin at the dealership. You don't see them very often.
We have not run into, in the last 2 years of owning this one, we have not run into another one out in the Tampa area.
No.
I think there's, on one Facebook car thing, there's somebody that's got one, but I've not been in a car meet where it showed up.
No. Do you take both the cars to cars and coffee and stuff like that?
Every once in a while. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Now, has this had anything done to it at all, like you have with Ferrari?
No,
has it been Matt eyes?
Matt has not. He's on. I don't know if he's seen. Yeah, he's seen this once in person.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's not. We have not done anything with it.
So these are the factory wheels and
factory everything. Just stock.
How's that? What motor and everything?
It's got the drivetrain is all Mercedes.
Okay.
AMG.
Oh.
So it's got the GT motor in it, the twin turbo 4-liter. This is 500
bi-turbo, excuse me.
Bi-turbo.
Mercedes people get pissed.
Yeah, bi-turbo. You're right.
Turbo.
Yeah, it's 503 or 5, something like that, horsepower.
Wow. So it'll get down.
A lot of torque.
It will definitely get down.
It will get down. It sounds, from the factory, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's got this huge rumble to it.
All right, Mike, we mentioned some of your track experience a little earlier, and fill me in on you're a Porsche GT or a Porsche track instructor?
For the Porsche Club of America. Porsche Club is where I started.
Okay.
In 2006.
Okay.
And went through their school and instructors and got signed off to be solo. Then they have a instructor school, they call it, that you go to and you learn how to be an instructor. Mm-hmm. And instructed from then on out. And then also Chin Motorsports as well, which is getting pretty big across the country, but it kind of started here. Sebring's like their home track.
Okay.
But it's kind of all over now. That's just Weishu Chin started that one years ago, and he's just branched out, and you see all kind of cars there.
So do you go with the Porsche Club to different tracks and instruct, or?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not just like Sebring or something
No. I mean, you can go to as many tracks as you can. I pretty much stay semi-local in the Southeast. Sebring's my home track.
Okay.
Daytona, which is the 24-hour road course.
Do you go over for that?
I have been quite a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna.
Yeah.
I watch it on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. You see more on TV.
You do see more on TV.
It's a lot of walking.
A lot of walking. Yeah.
And Homestead, the NASCAR track, they have a road course that's used part of the banks and the infield road course.
How many tracks have you driven on and/or instructed on?
1, 2, 3, 4 tracks I've instructed on. I've driven 5.
That is a really cool hobby, and I see on your wall you have hanging back here. Not a lot of people know what that little banner is. It says Sonar.
Yeah.
That is a drum company that I've seen that forever, being a drummer from the time I was like 12 years old. So you're also a drummer, and Will and I are also drummers, and the company that you work for, I was like just floored. You work for Zildjian Cymbals.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, how? I mean, that was the last thing in the world. I said, well, what does he do? I don't know. He works for Zildjian Cymbals. Whoa, what? How did you get into that?
Well, that's a good question. I get asked that all the time when I'm in a music store. I sell the products to music stores. Is my job.
Okay. So you're like a distributor. Or sales or something? I'm
a sales rep.
Okay, sales rep.
Yeah, I work for the manufacturer.
Okay,
yeah,
I got you.
I'm hired, for the manufacturer.
Okay.
So I sell the products into music stores in a 10-state territory in the Southeast.
Oh, wow.
That's one of the number one questions I get from the guys behind the counter. Is like, well, how did you get to work for Zildjian or work for DW Drums? And I've worked for Ludwig Drums and, a bunch of other companies and stuff throughout my career as a musical instrument sales rep.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not something you just go and apply for. It's all word of mouth.
It's word of mouth,
It's like getting into a band or becoming a race car driver.
Yeah.
It's all just getting in
there. It's
who you know.
That's what a cool gig.
I'm very fortunate. I don't like to say lucky because I put a lot of hard work into doing it, but I'm very fortunate to do what I do and with who I do it with.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Mike, thank you so much for taking the time to show us your cars and share with everybody your passion for racing and your passion for instructing and your passion for cars and Porsches and Ferraris. The Aston Martin, I'm really glad that I finally got to see one of those kind of in the wild, because they're a rarity. You don't get to see them very often.
No, you don't. It's a pretty rare car.
Yeah,
it is.
So we really appreciate your time and being on an episode of Behind the Garage.
Thank you for having me. This
Absolutely.
has been awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
We're going to head back to the dealership. All right, thanks, Mike, so much for inviting us out to your house and showing us your cool cars. Love that Ferrari, the way it sits, the wheels lowered, looks just perfect. And the Aston Martin, I believe it's the first Aston Martin that we've ever had on an episode of Behind the Garage Door. Loved the color on that car. Make sure you're back here every Thursday for another episode, and make sure you check out all of our other platforms right below. Oh, and we did actually ask Mike to play his drum set for us. Here you go.